Melanated family, it's that time again, man. It's that time again. Everybody, thank you for joining another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. And I'm excited tonight because I got my brother back on the show, right? The brother been on the show. People been asking, when is Rev Shock coming back? I said, hey, man, I do something here too. Asking about this damn man. I know how to
I got to stop paying people to say that to you. I got to stop paying those people. You know they on my payroll.
Yeah, they is. But this brother has a wealth of knowledge. He always keeps it raw and uncut. And I want to give him a little credit today because I'll be talking to the brother, and sometimes I don't mention his accolades and what he's actually done on his time, in his time on this earth for our community. Now, Rev Philip Shock Matthews is the founding minister of First Frequency of Oneness, Science, Manifestation, and Prosperity, and best known as the host of the Philip Matthews Show that goes live. He's authored like 15 books. The brother is also known as the metaphysical Morpheus. He's been in our community putting it down for a while. I like to consider him an elder. Me and him have fun. Me and him have a lot of fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
I consider Rev Shock one of my elders, and when he's on the show, family.
Well, how the hell is that? You old enough to be my grandfather. How the hell did that happen? Wait a minute now. Hold on. Wait a minute. Who's my elder? I'm like, brother, you got a mustache like I got. Wait a minute. Hold on. There's some gray. I see some gray in your beard too. I'm just messing with you.
It's all over the place, Rev.
I love you, man. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got to keep it going, man. And so let's get right into it. My brother, Rev Shock, is on the show today. So, Rev, like me was talking about, I need you to do my audience a service and hit the like button, subscribe, all that. But we about to go in.
I'm gonna be moving from Rev Shock to Dr. Shock and Reverend Dr. Shock. I'm gonna be all over the place. What hit me up, baby. What we got? What you got?
Talk about we looking at in the media currently. We have brother Kanye West, we have brother Kyrie Irving, who are currently getting shit for speaking what people would consider anti-Semitic views towards the Jewish community. So first thing I would want from you is talk to me about that idea of us being anti-Semitic.
How? That's all. How can we be anti-Semitic? How can Kyrie be anti-Semitic when he just recommended watching a damn film that's on a Jewish-owned platform?
Yep.
Jeff Bezos is Jewish. He doubled, tripled the price, so he's price gouging. But everybody's a millionaire now that they've seen the film, and so the ADL, in a very real sense, trying to buck break, trying to control the N-word, ended up killing their whatever false science they have dealt with. They killed it because now everybody in the world is watching that film and is investigating who they originally are. Now, I've been saying for the last 10 years, we're first frequency people. We're God's chosen first. Amma's chosen first, which is the Dogonic word for the creator. So we always want to correct that as much as we can. But being first means that we had to have been the first Hebrews. We had to have been because we were the first people on the planet. Now, here's where it gets really sticky. Now, this is where they might come after you and me, because what I'm about to say, people don't really get an opportunity to say on air, but I'm a reverend and a doctor, PhD in metaphysical science and philosophy. How can you be the chosen people when you came in second?
Come on now, Rev.
I'm just asking mathematical, logical questions. If Amma said, I am going to replicate and duplicate myself, and I'm going to create the best of myself, so that whatever this multiple entity that we now know called the African experiences will be able to show victory. Regardless of what happens to them, they are the best of the best, strongest of the strong. And so by default, they are the first. Now, how can the first people not be the chosen people and the second people who came hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years later be chosen?
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. And that's just from a logical perspective, but also theological. Where is your science?
Yeah,
Right?
because
We are scientists. What I do on my platform, the folks that I hang out with, we just had brother physicist, brother Ron Spears on there. We've got our mathematician, pi ratio. We've got our great scholar, researcher, and elder, Dr. Clyde Winters. We are up here doing hardcore research to prove Black people have been and always been first on everything and first to populate every inch of this beautiful thing we call Earth. So Kyrie, just what did he do? He recommended something like you and I do every day on social media.
Yeah,
that's why we have social media.
Yeah.
Hey man, check this out. I saw this film. I thought it was great. Right? Why aren't they saying something about Black Panther? We're promoting that.
Come on now, Rev Shock, because they give him the anti-Semitism label when we look at the movie that he posted, From Jews to Negroes, or From Hebrews to Negroes. I'm sorry,
Hebrews to Negroes. Yeah.
Yes, the movie is talking about in the movie they make claims that the Holocaust was fake. So you can look at that however you want to, right?
Sure.
They make claims that Black people are the original Jews, that Jewish people control the media in different forms like that. But these are things that
the only thing that I saw that was a lie was that the Holocaust didn't happen. Them shits happened. Okay, that happened. But we've always, but here's the rub, my brother. The Jews, they try to take their 2 to 3 year hell of the Holocaust and compare that to 500 years of what we've been dealing with. I'm sorry, y'all are not going to win that fight. Y'all are not going to win that pissing contest. We own that. So we don't have empathy or sympathy for you. We got our own problems, and you are part of the problem, because the moment Jews identified and was able to access and identify as white, which they did, what happened? What did Jews do for us?
I was going to say that, Rev Shock.
What have they done for Black people? Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret, and this is really controversial, but don't believe me. I'm going to do a Kabbalah Watha Kamene. Don't believe me. Go look it up. In Africa, on the walls of in the place of no return, there's the sign of David in the doorways, etched in the doorways. So y'all say, oh, we didn't have anything to do with the slave. Come on now. Come on. Please, this is stupid. This is stupid. And so I think what's happening is that the truth is finally coming out, and is coming out massively, and they are in a PR crisis par excellence, because they have to keep the lie alive and keep the narrative alive. If they don't, then they go back into the dark ages.
Now, Rev, do you think if he would have posted a link of a documentary about Christianity, about the beauties of Christianity and its religion, or a Bible verse, why do you think he getting this kind of backlash for that information?
Right.
When if he would have posted something about just the regular Bible that a lot of Black Americans consume,
sure.
No.
Well, here's the rub. Even Black people are recognizing that they're special. That their first frequency gods and goddesses having a Negro, nigga, thug, thought, bitch, hoe experience. We've been socially engineered. We were always gods. We were always goddesses. We are socially engineered to be this fourth frequency thing that I talk about in the street. So when you look at the understanding of who we are, and here's the rub, and I get it, because they identify as white, because they are of European origin, meaning coming out of the ice and then going through the dark ages. It's painful, Harrison, when you don't have a first story. When you don't have a first creation story, you have to make it up.
Ain't that something?
And so, because when they looked at the power of these anti-miscegenation laws that came out in 1681 that created this new designation called white people, and that was the birth of white supremacy, the birth of white privilege. As a result of that, they got a shot to create a new narrative, right? We are not supposed to be as Black people, we are not supposed to be worshiping or celebrating some imaginary white boy on a stick
Hmm.
and an imaginary white boy in the sky. That is, oh, I get so worked up about that, because when I was coming up, that was what was forced on me. Even in traditional, non-denominational New Thought metaphysics, the European version of that was Jesus Christ is our way shower. Dude never walked the earth. Show me an artifact. We have museums around the world. You've dug down 100,000 years, 200,000 years. To get to 200,000, you have to go past 5 or 6,000, which is where the said dude was supposed to be hanging out. You can't find a sandal. You can't find a goddamn incense holder or nothing.
See, that's what I was saying, Rev. It seems like if you're gonna, because what that movie is talking about is their belief as Black people, but also their religious belief. So if you're gonna attack what a religious piece of information says, you're not attacking the majority of what people in America believe.
Absolutely. There's nothing they can do, because they can't not prove we were first. They can't do it.
There we go.
They can't do it. Even their own scholars, like, yep, they were first. And yes, they did all of this. And yes, we stole it and took it and smacked it up, flipped it, or rubbed it down and sold it back to them.
Now, we talked about the 6 items that Kyrie had to do. Now, when you see this type of thing, Rev,
I saw that list, man. I saw that list.
When you see them making him bend over to dribble a goddamn basketball.
Right. Well, it's kind of funny. Nick Cannon was on some platform talking to a Jewish guy, and he was explaining to the guy about buck breaking. And the Jewish guy said, I've never heard of that term. I don't know anything about that. Now, here's what's funny. Nick Cannon got buck broke.
He did.
Because Nick Cannon not only apologized, but he gave a shitload of money back to them as an apology. So here's the problem, Harrison. When your livelihood is dependent on the people who are oppressing you, they get to do this. They get to do this. That's not Kyrie's fault per se. He's owned by a particular establishment that made him a millionaire. That's made all of the entertainers millionaires. But you pay a price for that millionaireship. You pay a price for that lifestyle. They own you. So if they own you, you don't talk about the people who write your check, who pay for your school, who pay for your kids' school, pay for your clothing, pay for your mansions, pay for your lavish vacations. Right?
Yeah,
so he basically said, screw that. And he became really the new Kaepernick in a very real sense, right?
Yes, I believe that.
So he's looking like he's getting ready to become the Kaepernick of basketball, right? Of the NBA. But that's okay, because, the same as happened with Kanye. Okay, Kanye lost $1 billion in a day, but he was still worth $400 million on his own. I'm not mad at. I don't know about you, Harrison, but if I woke up and I had $400 million and I lost $1 billion, but I kept 400, I'm still doing. I think the insurance is still getting paid, bro. I don't know.
I'm still good.
I think the car is still getting paid for and the house is still paid for. So we have to understand that this is what they do. And I'm kind of looking at it from this perspective of I'm liking what I'm seeing only from the sense that we are waking up and seeing what they do and how they do. This is modern day buck breaking. This is modern day shut up and dribble. Stay in your lane, nigga. I pay you. I own you. We are the plantation owners. You have no rights. Yeah. We're beginning to see that with what they did with Whoopi Goldberg, Nick Cannon, Kaepernick, what they're doing with Kyrie right now. And the whole, it's like, this is the same narrative. Now, before they would take us out, strip us buck naked, tie us to a post, bring out our families, and they would beat us into submission in front of our children and our spouses and our family. Well, they don't do that anymore. So now what they do is they take your money away. But
Financially,
call
yeah.
up and don't Adidas don't. And now Adidas has lost about I think $245 million worth of sales
Hmm.
because they dropped Yeet. They're hurt. They're willing to harm themselves just to keep us in line, but
Just
it's
to
not
keep us in
working.
line. Yeah, yeah. Now,
It's not working. This one is backfiring on their asses.
oh yeah, I want to talk
And
about
I
that.
have no problems with Jews or anybody. I know I've worked with a lot of them, and I know a lot of them. Have no problems with them as long as they understand their lane. That we know who we are,
Hmm.
and we know who you are not. That's all. If you
Oh, we
can't
know who
handle
you
that,
are not. Yeah,
if
ain't
you
that
cannot
something?
handle that and live in that space, well, you got a really, really big problem because here's the rub. There's more of us than there are of you. You can't
Hmm.
silence all of us.
Hmm. And now,
Because
with
some of us don't have NBA contracts, so I don't give a damn about what you think of me.
there we go, there we go. Now, talk to me about this real quick because I want you to break down here in a minute the four frequencies. I think
Mm.
every show I do with you, it's extremely important that you speak to that ideology. It's so damn powerful. Now, when we look at some of our brothers who are like NBA commentators, we're looking at black men on TV
Mm.
who are championing the fact that Kyrie is an idiot. Something's wrong with him. He
Mhm.
needs to apologize. Break down for the people listening. What frequency is a brother in if he's in a position where he's getting paid by white folks and he's more inclined to speak to their benefit opposed to anything that could be empowering?
Well, we call that third frequency in our metaphysical framework. Um, More people would probably know the word coon. Um, so so when you look at now, Doctor Winters refers to it as white-itis. There's a lot of terms that we use for. Well, let's take it back. Let's do a Sankofa on it if we could. So the person who gave us the real glory as to what happens when black people are faced for the first time with what we call this second frequency European. We're the first frequency. The European is the second frequency. What happens when first frequency people interface with second? It creates a third frequency, and that is what W.E. Du Bois refers to as double consciousness. We almost have to become bipolar, but there's something that happens with our nervous system. Our nervous systems, the way Amma designed us, and the way we were able and have been able to survive, is that our nervous system is able to sense danger before it registers in the brain. So our body knows danger before it registers in the brain. So when we are around them, we automatically, without thinking, we start acting differently. But when we're around them all the time, we start thinking just like them.
Hmm. That makes sense.
And therein lies the problem is that when your signal is constantly, when your first frequency signal is constantly being interrupted, you are a black man in white face.
That makes sense. You see a lot of black folks who get around white, they get to a job or a neighborhood or a
Mhm.
place, a status in society, and you hear them
Right.
talk around their white friends, and they sound just like their white buddies. They listening to the
Yep.
black jokes and the whole nine.
Yeah, absolutely. They're using the N words with each other, with their white
Yeah,
counterparts on the golf course. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! What the heck is
yeah.
going on here?
Mhm.
But that price that those people are not going to live a healthful life because that's called racial battle fatigue. The buildup
Racial.
of double consciousness of turning against your own brother, your own people for a white check. You have two things are going to happen. You're spiritually bankrupt, so Amma's going to whoop your ass. And then secondly, you're suffering from racial battle fatigue, which is the physical.
When you
So
say Amma, what
something's
are you
going.
referring to, Rev? When you
I'm
say
talking
Amma,
about the creator. That's the Dogonic word for God or the creator.
there we go.
That's the
There we go.
original word.
There we go.
So the Dogon refers to the creator as Amma, Amma. And it's the beginning too of the building of the mother goddess, and why the African exalted the African woman as a goddess. So the sisters became gods or amas in expression very early on in our civilization, because they were able to we understood that anything that bled died. But what happened with our goddesses is that they bled every 30 days, but they did not die. And so that caused them to reach God level. And so they created the math, which was counting the cycles of the moon, and all math began to be created. That began to create the sciences. And here we are. So when we say Amma, it's a female energy, but it's also a male energy, a divine feminine energy as well. But in our ministry, the goddess is at the top, at the helm, because they are the ones that gives birth to all life, including our ideas and our ideals. But I went off tangent. Where was I going with this? What was your original question?
Actually,
about the frequencies, or
yes, no, the original question was the brothers who are on TV cooning, basically.
Yes.
I wanted you to identify the actual frequency that they're operating under.
Absolutely. They're operating in third frequency because those are the people who are afraid of getting whipped. They don't want to be Kyrie. See, the second frequency wants to put the fear of a false god inside of every black person. So you don't even connect with your original god or goddess frequency before the interruption and the interception of them.
That's right, Rev. And sometimes, like, just watching different things that go on, a lot of things you've told me, I reflect on it, because when I look at the black men on TV speaking negative about another black man who mentioned a documentary about religion, these brothers at the same time are Christians.
Well, how the hypocrisy goes even deeper than that, because I found out that Shaq played that movie some time ago in one of his theaters.
He did.
You see? So this is, it's like Dave Chappelle kind of joked about it on the SNL. He says, Kanye got Kyrie in trouble because Kyrie, what he did really was no big deal. But I think because they're like, oh my God, this Kanye thing, we can't control him. We're trying to buck break him, and he's still out here telling the truth about us.
Well, so
and so as a result, that's what's going on. Go ahead.
So Rev, because I think Kanye, he said things that I do agree with.
Yes.
But I think sometimes he goes a little off code, a little too far.
A little. Define a little. Shit. A little off course. You're so kind. You're good. You're a good dude. You ain't gonna talk about your brother's band. I love you. That's great. That's speaking truth to power. There's a man right there. That's an honest man right there. He's like, I'm not speaking bad about. He just goes off a little bit.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice, Rev. Like, what the fuck did he just say? What the fuck did he just say? They're gonna be in his house in the morning.
First of all, my brother, I love him to pieces. My Chicago brother. Trauma is real, bro. Trauma is real. And when you lose your matriarch, like he lost it, because I remember losing my mother. When you lose your mom, all bets are off. All bets are off. And then you have this incredible gift, this incredible first frequency talent. You are the culture in expression. And then everything that you talk about in your songs, you do. So you go and you leave the sister alone, and you go with this plastic surgeon man-made Barbie thing, and expect that you're going to live happily ever after. Bro, I there was a time that I would be like, bro, are you really serious right now? Are you crazy right now? But I recognize nothing's wrong with Kanye. A lot has happened to that brother. And when it happens to you with millions and millions of dollars coming in
Mhm.
and you have access to excess, it's amazing that I'll be honest with you, it's amazing that the brother is still with us because we know that has taken out people even lesser than what he has gone through. And he's
Yeah.
strong as hell. He's strong as hell. So
So
Kanye, we with you, brother. But like Dave said, well, I'm just gonna sit this one out and see what he's gonna say. We'll see how this is gonna play out. Because
yeah.
Kanye has a tendency to say things that just like, dude, what a George Floyd, fentanyl. Come on, bro. That's you can't back that up. You can't backtrack and backpedal that out of that.
See, and that's why sometimes, Rev, I don't know if he doesn't have a knowledge base from somebody in our community like yourself who knows what the fuck is really going on, or
It's
if he just
impossible because he would. How can you have a Kyrie Irving and they're all in the same kind of league? So somebody's not talking to him,
yeah,
or he's not listening.
there we go. Yep.
One of the two. But I don't know how you cannot be. Especially, you first of all, if you're fourth frequency, you are what we call that N word. You that thug out here in these streets. Now you are at the lowest bottom of the totem pole of society, but in a very real sense, you're closer to Alma than our third frequency brothers because you didn't sell out.
Oh, wait. So that makes sense. You may be a thug or doing certain things at a certain frequency, but you ain't sold out yet. So
You ain't sold out to the white man. You ain't sold out to be a coon. So my fourth frequency brothers and sisters, what they're going through is a social engineering situation where they're socially engineered because you take away my resources, you take away my ability to eat, you take away my ability to get academia so I can get an education so I can feed my family right. Well, of course I'm gonna fucking be out here stealing and robbing and doing whatever I have to do to eat.
Damn,
That's never changed. That's never changed.
I say that a lot, Rev. Like I'm looking at the brothers that's on the street that's selling whatever they gotta sell, doing what they gotta do. I'm like, damn, we can use these brothers. There's a warrior spirit,
no doubt. Oh my God, that's our military.
There we go. That's
our military. All they have to do is get structured and organized. But the brothers on the streets and sisters on the street, that's our military. Mm-hmm. Because we know what happened to them. It happened to me and you. Yep. We lucked out and fought and got out, but still sometimes the street calls us back.
Yeah. It's that right? In the likeliness when you put people in an urban environment with no resources, no way out, no real history. It's a surprise when we see somebody rise above it. That shit damn near.
That is a fact. That's what I'm going through right now. People are looking at me and saying, "How the hell did Rev Shock get out of Chicago? How did you stay in Chicago for 40 years? And here you are, Reverend Doctor, 20 some odd books written, talking to all of the great scholars." It was not easy, my dude. It was not easy. And there are days that I still go through the ghosting trauma of growing up in that environment. Because you understand, we grow up, we were we're part of Generation X. So we created hip hop. Mm-hmm. We created an entire music genre that is the longest running genre of all musical genres.
Yep.
However, my book that I'm working on right now is going to reveal that the CIA actually came in and saw that we were making all this positive rap and it was affirming each other and said, "Oh, we can't have that. What can we do to create music that will create an auto-genocide where they will kill each other?"
And that's exactly what we got right now.
And now that was the introduction of gangster rap.
Yes. And now gangster rap has just been completely dumbed down. And if you listen to the radio, you gonna be traumatized. So it's
trauma music. It ain't trap music. It's trauma music.
Trauma music ain't that some shit. Damn.
Yeah. Real talk.
Rev Shock on the show, everybody. Philip Rev Shock. Follow the brother. This is knowledge right here. Now, something real quick, Rev. I'm not sure if you've seen. Want to switch reels here just for a second. I'm not sure if you've seen the new Black Panther movie, But
I did on my birthday. It was for
you seen it?
Monday was my birthday, the 14th. I just turned 57.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
Rev, give me your honest opinion of the Black Panther movie.
All right. So we just did a show today on the spiritual aspects of the Black Panther, but we're doing a show tomorrow with Dr. Winters that's going to talk about the political aspect of the Black Panther Party. So here's what I want the family to basically understand and know. In the theme of the movie, if you step back for a moment after all of the beauty and all of the metaphysics and all of the wonderful stuff that this film has done, and the beautiful dedication to Chadwick Boseman,
Yes.
R.I.P. Shay, you are looking at a film because all, particularly Disney films, have some type of military propaganda agenda behind it. Otherwise, they don't release it. So the propaganda agenda behind this particular version of the Black Panther is to teach us how to be docile and to teach us that you can kill us, you can kidnap us, and we'll still, in the end, forgive you.
Interesting.
Okay, so Shuri, they kidnapped her, they killed her mother. She went and got all of this technology and tried to figure out how to defeat this dude. And when she went to the ancestors, and Killmonger came back and said, "Look, do what you got to do, handle your business." But she ended up taking the route of the people who got the 9 people who got killed in North Carolina, and came out and said, "I forgive you," basically, and let the dude live.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
That's a hidden signal to teach us that we're supposed to turn the other cheek when you hurt us and harm our people. That's the first agenda. The second piece, I'm sorry, go ahead. You had something to say.
Because the Mexican guy, because I seen the movie too, Rev. The Mexican guy killed her mom. The Mexican guy killed her mom, and then she said, "Let's work together."
Right. Come on. You bro.
Oh, that's "You shot my son. God forgives you."
Come on now.
Come on now. There was pieces of the movie, Rev, that didn't sit right with me. Like
here's another piece now I want you to know.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to spill a little tea. So the other part of this that they're showing you, and I got to send a shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson. Years and years ago on the first Hidden Colors, he said this is going to happen. And I know it's now factually going to happen, because we've got the citations and the references and the actual proof. He said, be careful, because eventually they're going to use the Hispanic or Latinx community as a buffer class against us and the whites. Okay, so that was Umar saying that, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, whenever the first Hidden Colors came out. Yeah. So here we are today. Biden is on a Zoom talking about by 2040, white people are going to be the minority, but white people can't handle that and don't want to hear that. So we need to use the Latinx and build them up. Okay, and get them in office and get them elected and get them get behind them, because they vote white. They identify as white.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so now that's the hidden scene that's the hidden agenda in the movie. Now so that's the one part, but here's the other piece, beloved. You are Wakanda. You have vibranium. You're a superhero. Y'all have beat the shit out of aliens. You can't whoop a little motherfucker in the water.
And then they had the big brother. I think I forgot the big black brother's name. He socked the shit out of this big black man, and he just
come on, man.
Goddamn fairy.
What kind of dude is gonna have a Bruce Lee punch for I forget, Baraka or whatever his name is? That brother, come on.
And
come on, man.
Fairy feet. He got some damn fairy feet where he fly, and he socked the shit out you, and he socked you, and you didn't want problems though.
My mama would come back from the grave and beat my ass if a little fairy with fucking fairy feet whoop my ass. Let a fairy feet dude whoop my ass. Come on, man.
So I'm thinking,
come on.
Damn, Chadwick Boseman's character. I know the brother is deceased. R.I.P. to him. They probably had a time recasting. And
I'm sure.
Damn, I felt powerful watching the first movie. The second movie, a piece of it, I felt like this is a little bit of a chick flick, even though they woman
Yeah,
ass and need
yeah,
some women
yeah.
that are empowering.
It was
But I'm
what the
like,
Woman King wanted to be. It's
come on
what the
now.
Woman King wanted to be,
Mm,
right? But we know about the Dora May, that they were the ones that sold us into slavery.
hmm
But a lot of people don't want to hear that. We just want to go and be entertained and all of that. And that's a damn problem, right? That's
hmm
okay. Understand that. But if anybody should have been Black Panther, it should have been Lupita,
mm, that's true.
right? That was his woman.
Yeah.
So I would look at Lupita because, and this is when I'm a grown ass reverend. Lupita would look better in that Black Panther suit. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking nothing away from Shuri. I love you, Shuri. I hope you ain't listening to this, but if you are, I love you to pieces. But Lupita, oh my God,
I know what you're
she,
saying, Rev.
I would have celebrated Halloween and went as Lupita as Black Panther. Goddamn it, that's how fine her ass is. In that day, oh my God, that woman is just unbelievably
In that
gorgeous.
suit,
That is
you ain't never lied, Rev.
okay. Let's move on because I'm a grown ass reverend. You understand what I'm saying, Harris? I'm a grown ass reverend. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know who you're dealing with right now. Okay, I'm a basic brother, but I got skills. But I'm a basic. I love my Black women. Oh
Come
my
on now.
God,
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I
indeed.
love ain't nothing like a sister, brother.
So what
Oh
other points did you take from the movie? Because that's very insightful and interesting, and I felt some of the same things.
yeah, well, it was again, it was very well done. I love what they did by giving a shout out to IAT, which
Mhm.
is Haiti for those who don't know the proper enunciation of it. So I like that fact. Um, but it also showed how America uses divide and conquer strategy to come in and force their agenda on you, so then you have to go to war with them.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
was a lot. So if you're looking at it, it's difficult for people like us because we know the stuff, we know the history, we know some things, but just on entertainment value, it was 2 hours 45 minutes, phenomenal. At the end, we found out that T'Challa had a son.
Mhm.
I forgot the name of the character that Lupita plays, but now so Shuri's got a nephew, so we're going to see something coming from that. But in honesty, I don't know. I think that it was for young girls wanting to feel empowered, phenomenal. For young boys wanting to wear an androgynous Black Panther outfit now, that was perfect for them.
I was waiting to
You
see
know,
what you was gonna say, Rev,
if
because
if I if I see a black kid in a Black Panther outfit celebrating, I'm gonna whoop somebody. Y'all gonna see me on the news.
because I
You
know
gonna
his
see me
son
on the
didn't grow
news.
up in the
It was you have to understand the agenda of Disney. It's all there was a I forgot the it was a sister, but she was third frequency. But she said my agenda is to put the alphabet people in every film.
because look, we need to look. I'm thinking T'Challa's son may grow up to be the new Black Panther, whatever. But name a
Right.
white superhero film where the superhero dies and they replace him with a woman.
It's never happened.
Come on now, Rev.
It's never happened. It's never I'm not trying to be sexist, but it doesn't make any sense.
Come on now. And I know y'all was
It
short
does
on
not make
time.
any sense. Black
Yeah.
Panther is the strongest of the strong, the baddest of the bad. He's the protector. And I'm
Yes,
not saying a woman can't do that,
of
but I'm
course.
saying looking at the way the film originally was art, that was not a narrative that I've ever seen before.
And a white man wouldn't dare. He
Would
wouldn't
not dare.
dare do that. So
Would not
I know
dare.
they were pressed for time, and I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But I'm
Yes.
watching like,
Yes.
damn. And I tell one of my homeboys, like, man, look, I'm not sure what I just watched. You gotta give me a
Absolutely.
second. And yes,
When I went to. Are you familiar with Studio Movie Grill out in
that's where I
Rockland?
went. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I after about three Hail Marys, I was trying to figure it out. I had to put some sauce in, bro. I had to put some sauce in. You know, Rev had a night. You know, I'm a
Me
full
too.
grown reverend.
Me
I'm a full
too.
grown reverend, but I'm like, okay, I need a drink for this. This is some bullshit. As I saw where it was going, and I'm looking at, you know how black people are. You can't take us to the theater because we be talking out loud. I'm having a full blown conversation. I got a chart taking notes and shit. I'm out there doing a damn thing. I'm like, this is some bullshit. Now, how the hell she got all of this vibranium, all of this technology? Damn, they could raise the dead because they brought T'Challa back to life in the first one.
Yeah.
You can't beat Jose with wings on his damn feet. What the
On his
hell?
feet, not even on his back. The man got wings on his feet. So I'm like, okay, the black and brown coalition. I'm like, cool, but not right now.
What?
This is Wakanda forever, nigga. Like,
This is
stop.
Wakanda forever. This is not brown or Wakanda forever.
Not right now.
Not right now.
And you put the Mexican
No.
guy in it now, they're probably gonna be your allies. So you're gonna be working with him against the white man.
No, they're not going to be allies. They're going to be buffer class. So they're going to be enemy. They're setting them up to replace us so they can keep their numbers up in the white world, in the white census.
Come on now.
So that's what's getting ready to happen. You see, they have to figure out how to keep kicking this can. But the problem is they can't keep kicking this can because the more of us become conscious and awakened to what is actually happening, we are all Kyrie. We are all Kanye. We are all people who cannot be controlled and contained. We're done with the capture, corral, and control. It's over.
Yeah, and people don't look. We need to play the census game. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself.
Right.
What box did you check? Stop the bullshit. Some Jewish people too. You speak about your Jewish religion, but the box says
the religion is Jewish, but you identify as white.
There we go.
So you are not our friend.
Yeah.
Hello.
No.
You are not our friend. And so if you identify as white, then we're going to have a problem with you.
Mm-hmm.
And your numbers are declining. And this is just what they do. So this is why I think Kava talks about this all the time. I mean, almost every time he talks, he says the same thing. And that is, what are you going to do? What are we going to do, family?
What are we going to do? Yep.
Right? Do you know how to run a city, a neighborhood, a state, a country? Do you know how to do that? Because if you don't, you are in trouble. Because if they left, who's going to run what they've left behind and then correct it? Because we got to correct what they've done, let alone run it.
That's a problem we don't want to deal with now. So if they cut the water off tomorrow, who gonna plumb it? Who gonna go down there and get it? Who gonna be?
We gonna be down at the river getting with a bucket.
We gonna be. With some Jordans on.
Right. With some damn Jordans on. We gonna be looking good with our buckets. Don't get me wrong. Shit, you know how we do. We gonna be styling.
But that's some real shit. Man. We gotta get.
But that's real, man. That's real.
Talk about white supremacy and how you don't like it, but in your day-to-day
life,
how are you preparing just in case they say, okay, niggas, y'all want it? Have
it.
What we gonna do?
Bro, I'll be honest with you. If Costco and Amazon close up, your boy's in trouble. Okay, your boy's got issues. I'm gonna be like, what the hell do I do without my Costco and my Amazon, dude? See, so until we're able, we have to position ourselves to be the replacement. Stop all of this bullshit about they did this to us. We know that. Now, what are you going to do about it? We have gone through the crucifixion. It's time for our resurrection. We are the Christ consciousness. We are Christ walking this earth. No one has our story as Africans of America. No one has our story. No one has our resilience. No one has our ability to make what Dr. Winters calls the visible, make the invisible visible. No one has the ability to do what we do. But we have to take it upon ourselves and stop playing victim and asking and begging for forgiveness and asking and begging for help from the people who has done us the most harm.
Yeah. And that seems to happen a lot because all levels of resistance that we participate in, I do see the benefit of it. But sometimes
Yes.
it can come off as, hey, help me.
Right.
Hey, please
Right.
do
Yeah.
said thing for me.
Oh, Jesus, I love you so. We're all God's children. We're all one. No, we're not.
All this bullshit. Because
No,
part of what
not.
Kanye was saying was, hey, let me in the room. I
Right.
got money now. I'm a billionaire.
Right.
Please
Right.
let me in, white man. They were like, no, nigga.
No. No. Right.
I got the white wife.
Right.
I got the white wife. Let me
Right. Not happening, bro. That's what we have to do. And this is going to be difficult for us, but it's going to, once you get knocked on your head enough times, you think that you would get the damn message. Right. So every politician that has ever ran for president has come to our communities and begged for our vote and lied to us and said they're going to do this, that, and the third. And they get into office and they don't do ish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to happen again. I am making a prediction that if he lives through it, because he's under a lot of pressure, but if he lives through it, Trump will win in 2024.
I just seen that he's running again.
Yeah.
And I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he will. Now, because Rev Shock, it seems like with Trump, because when I reflect on his presidency, there's a lot of things I didn't like. But it seemed like he was a non-politician who just said some shit. Like he would say things at times to make you be like, oh, he's kind of giving you a look behind.
It's going to be interesting because the other part of that is they can't control that dude.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
And we know what happens when they're on. See, this is something that we never really picked up on, is that they all of the torture, all of the physical and psychological torture that we have experienced, they did to themselves and each other first.
Yep.
They mastered torture in the Dark Ages. I've got maddening history and research of what happened to these people during the Dark Ages and why they perfected and how they perfected torture systems. So I don't know if they're going to allow him to become president again, because if he does, Africa, Canada, any damn place is looking better right then than being here, because that will be the end of America as we know it, because we know America is falling and failing, but that will be the true end of it.
Whoa. You know what? And that brings me to something, talking about how this system operates, talking about pretty much these white men, because sometimes they go semantical and say Jewish and Russian. No, these are all white men.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Rev, break down for us the four histories. Just give us a brief of the four histories.
Well, the four histories, the first history is us, creating us being maturing into sapien, being able to create all science, all math, all civilization. There are images and photos that I've seen of actual cities, ancient cities. There was no need for burglar alarms. There were no locks on the door, because there was no crime. Because everybody was it was almost a utopia. It was under the law of Ma'at. Now, that first history, we built architecture that could never be replicated or duplicated. We did a damn thing. Now, the second history is when a group of us got caught in the Ice Age, and there's evidence to suggest that, just like in the movie Day After Tomorrow, there's a scene in that movie where there's a cold front that comes in, but the cold front freezes everything instantaneously, and so you die right on the spot, frozen. That's how cold the temperature dropped. Now, there's evidence that there are mastodons or woolly mammoths that they found standing up, and animals standing up with food still in their belly. So that's how cold it got so quickly, because the earth was going through its gyrations and gestations. Now, we had to go into the caves. Here's what happens when you are in a cave environment. First of all, you don't have a food source. You can't grow plants. You don't have animals. So what do you have to eat? Each other.
The person
And so
right next.
I
said the person right next to you.
The person right next to you. So as now we're talking about over 100,000 years of the Ice Age. So we're talking about a group of people depigmenting. If you look at all of the animals and insect and micro life in a cave, you notice that it's all opalescent, it's all white. They lose their pigment in order to be in the dark, in order to be able to see and maneuver in the dark. And that's what happened to us. That ice turned us inside out, and we became the anti-African. And as a result of that, over time, we practiced cannibalism. And even after we came out, third history, Dark Ages, there's photos, images of nature trying to kill them off, because in a cave environment, your immune system is shot. That's why you're called recessively genetic, or genetically recessive. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So as Dr. Wellesley. So their immune system was shot. So they were just a walking bundle, a group of disease. And so when they came out in the Dark Ages, there was famine, there were floods, there was a mini ice age that killed off millions of them in that entire region. There were things that happened to them that caused them to, for 800 years, they had what's known as ergotism poisoning, which is a form of LSD. And they were ingesting this LSD for 800 years before they realized it was a toxin.
Damn, Rev, is this about the same time as the Moors went into Europe and civilized them? Was that around the same time?
This is some of this is before. Yeah, because you have to look at the time is that we didn't meet these people right away. They didn't meet us right away. They went through a bit of civilization before they ran into us, or we ran into them, however you want to put it. But they went through hell. And it's interesting, in that third history, the diseases that they came down with, it blackened their limbs, body parts were falling off. There's actual photo of in ergotism, your body begins to the cartilage begins to disintegrate, and so there's a photo of a guy whose arm is off, but he's alive, and you would see people getting up with their arm and walk. That's the Walking Dead, the zombie. Because you ask yourself, where do they get these movie ideas from? It's from the Dark Ages. It's from what they lived. They lived in hell. We lived in heaven. And so even after going through the ice, that wasn't enough. When they came out, the weather took them through hell. Amma has been trying to eradicate this group since the time they came out of the cave, since they went into the cave. Because Amma knew you are no longer first frequency. You are something else. You are no longer first frequency. You are no longer African. You do not have the immune system to survive this earth. That's why they're so violent, because they cannot survive on this earth with an all-black planet.
And like you said earlier, their numbers are dwindling. And that
takes us to the fourth history, the last history, which is the history of what we call anti-miscegenation, 1664 to 1681, when white people were invented as a matter of law. There is no record of any elder history where Europeans refer to themselves as white. That's American made. That is American made. That brought us, you and I, to this conversation and the situation that we're in, because that fourth history is where a person of African descent in the anti-miscegenation laws that came down, person of African descent couldn't vote or run for office. Person of African descent could not own guns or gunpowder. So now you and I can't eat. We can't protect our families. And now we have been emasculated in law. I cannot hold a gun. I cannot get gunpowder. So how do I eat and how do I protect my family? And then the third law a person of African descent could not sue or take any type of legal action against this new false designation of humanity called white people. And we see that happening still to this day.
Yes, and that's the creation of white supremacy. So when we see some of these Jewish people being upset about what Kanye is saying or being
they're not upset. Let me say this publicly. They're not upset about the Jewish situation. They're upset because their whiteness is being threatened.
Bottom line, because they call themselves Jewish, but they white, and they're operating under the
that's what's happening right now.
Ideology, definitely.
That's what's happening right now. They're scared to death. These are the same people. These are the same people. Some of them climbed the damn state capitol. These people are terrified.
Yeah, that happened.
They're going extinct, and they're terrified. Now, they in their mind think that black people are taking over. No, black people have always been here. It's just less of you, so it looks like it's more of us.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of us are on code now. Like a lot of us,
are getting on code. Absolutely.
Everything we have to say, wait a minute, that shit didn't make sense. Say it again.
That's right.
So even though we got these brothers on TV who, like you said, are in third frequency and they're operating under a particular ideology, we got grassroots black folks and social media, everything that we have available to us. There's a lot of us who push back when we see all that shit, right?
Absolutely. Well, social media was the curse of the Amu. It's like they always work against themselves because they give us technology and then we take the technology and we make it our own.
There we go.
We run this. We're the largest consumers and users, not consumers, but we're the largest users on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Most social media platforms, especially Twitter.
Black Twitter. Black Twitter is no joke.
They will change a narrative.
Yes.
That group of people will actually change a narrative. So when we're talking about doing shit for our community, there's many different levels or many different things that you can do to affect change. And we've seen them brothers and sisters do that. Now, something else I've seen that I want to talk to you about.
Yes, sir.
All your information. You have 12 beliefs of first frequency, oneness, science, manifestation, prosperity. Talk to me about a few of those beliefs because I think it was
it's after 7 o'clock. I don't remember none of that. Now let me to call me up and say get the chart out because I got to read the damn chart. I don't remember. Well, what I do, these ain't jokes. But anyway, I don't remember all 12 of those out on top of my head at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. It's time for my weed. It's time for my weed nap. It's time, I'm a grown ass reverend. I got things to do, So one of them, obviously, and it's the first one, and that is, we are the chosen people. We are first frequency people. We are the best of the best. We are gods and goddesses walking this earth and having a third and fourth frequency experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a result of that, everything is getting ready to go back to the black. As King said, the arc of justice is long, but it is an arc. It is justice. Yeah. And so there is a reckoning, but the reckoning is fascinating. If you look at it, there's not going to be, it's going to be a race war. No. The race war is being fought by Amma. Nature is killing them. Now, let's look at the numbers. First of all, they've called us a minority forever, but we've never really been a minority. We've always been the majority. And if we weren't the majority, why do you take so much effort in trying to stop us from voting? If we are not a threat and we're a minority, we wouldn't have the power to turn an election.
Mm-hmm.
So we are the minority. We are the majority and always have been. But here's the rub. I saw a stat that said 14.4 million people. I think I'm not sure if that's global or if it's just in a particular location, but 14 million whites died. From COVID, not blacks, because now it's killing them at rapid rates and not us.
Mm-hmm.
But before COVID, beloved, they were dying off because the poor whites were dying in record numbers, and you know this here in California, from meth.
Mm-hmm.
The rich whites were dying from opioid addiction.
Yep. This is true.
The European female made a choice to not have children and to date outside of her race. And so that cuts down on their birth rate. She's the European woman also can work now and create her own money and her own income. As a result of that, she is not having children. So when you don't have children, and this is I think there's 2 or 3 books that the family need to get to understand what we call the birth dearth or fertility replacement. The first one is Birth Dearth by Ben Wattingberg. That's the one recommended by Jane Elliott.
You said
The
birth
second,
dearth?
Birth Dearth, Dearth, dearth. The second one is Death of the West by Pat Buchanan. And then there's a third one. And of course, I'm going to blank on that because it's late. But what it shows is it shows what happened to them because their arrogance and their hubris caused them to actually work themselves off the planet. And nature is helping do that. We don't have to pull out a gun. We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is get as far away from them and as independent from them as we possibly can and let nature take its course.
Let nature take its course. And that's 100 right there, Ref. And
Mhm.
because when we look at their decline in birth rate, when we look at how I've seen like the weather, like certain hurricanes or certain forms of weather, thunderstorms, whatever have you, what kind of it seems like it's almost attacking them to a degree. You know what I mean?
Brother, let me tell you something. You're absolutely on point. I just had this realization, this aha moment a few weeks ago because we were on the concept of birth dearth and them dying out. And I know what it was. Me and the Queen, we went to see Till, the Emmett Till story, which was phenomenal. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't know that it was 2 to 3 black men that was part of that killing. So we participated in that. That's another part of our history is that we got to not only deal with the buffer class that's coming in, we've got to deal with our own traitors.
Yeah.
And the family that has betrayed their own. But during this movie, I was looking at how they kill us and the things that they get away with. But then I started looking at weather patterns around the world. And I started asking the question, how many white people died from weather-related events in 1955 to now? You know, we might not see, we are looking for a tit for tat. Like you do something to us, we're going to do something to you. That's not how AMA works. Nature doesn't work that way. Nature is very sneaky, right? So you might have killed thousands of us, but how many died in 9/11?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. How many are dying right now from something weather related or drug related? They are dying far quicker and more frequently than we are.
And that's happening naturally. So, Brother Rev, man, I appreciate you being on the show, man.
Thank you, brother. Always a pleasure.
Too big of a break between the last time you was on the show.
Yeah, man. I want to come back and talk some ish with you, you know, a little earlier so I can have some, you know, have a little, remember what my 12 principles were. I don't even remember. I know it's on the website. Go to firstfrequency.com and check that out.
Rev, so tell them your website again. Where can they go to get all your books, all your information, your classes?
You can go to the number 1 ST firstfrequency.com. Everything is on there. And, you know, I'm not being arrogant, but I've been out here a long time. So you literally could just put my name in Google or Amazon and all of this stuff will come up. I just hit 950 shows or uploads on my YouTube channel. So it's a lot of content. And that's not including my radio show. I have over 230 interviews there on Blog Talk Radio. So yeah, go to the website and then you can kind of expand it out from there.
Definitely. So everybody, this is the brother Philip Rev Shock Matthews. I love having this brother on the show. Raw history, the truth though. You know what I mean? This is
Absolutely.
this is all information that we should all know. Like digging into our history is important for everybody in our culture. This is your brother Harrison, Melanated Convo. Follow me on Instagram at melanatedconvo100. Also, real quick, the 24th, Thanksgiving. My family is having our 4th annual community Thanksgiving dinner, 3601 Thompson Rose Chapel is the name of the business. If you know anyone who needs a hot meal, because what we're doing, not turkeys or anything like that, we're actually feeding a hot meal from 12 to 3 on the 24th. This on from 12 to 3. So family, join us. If you know somebody who needs a hot meal, you know somebody who's down and bad right now, a single mom, whoever the case may be. I know turkeys are given out most of the time, but we want to provide a hot meal that's prepared by our family with love.
Nice.
12 to 3 on Thanksgiving. We're accepting donations as well. So hit me on Instagram. I'll give you all the information about that. This is your brother Harrison, Rev Shock. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for joining me today, man.
Love you, brother. Hotep family.